community, they also, oh, okay. The computer's talking to me now. Okay, but I found that even in the Afrikaans community, sex is very taboo, and we need this type of conversation. We need people to start these conversations, because as women, no matter where we come from, we go through the same things. And we need to be a community that supports each other in these different situations. Even with what Kay was talking about, I learned so much. And I found a community now with Kay and Loreal and Mandy. So I hope it will be a good relationship that's starting. So we can just work hand in hand. So that's why I do what I do, because sex has always been thought to be the man's responsibility in women who date men. So it's like the woman never has a voice when it comes to her own sexuality and owning the sexuality. So it's time for sisters to empower each other and reclaim their sexuality. So that's what I do.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to have you on board and to have us having this conversation about our yoni and how we can really take care of it. Now, there was one subject that was brought to my attention that they would have loved to have spoken about, is like pain during sex. Like when you're having, so if you can maybe elaborate on like what are the causes of that, especially when women have, like myself, like endometriosis, and you get women with fibroids who are still trying to like get intimate while having these issues because of that relationship, of the masculinity and the femininity, the lady, the men, feel kind of left out of the equation because some don't really understand like what is actually happening in the woman's body. And this is why when I talk about, like, when a woman comes to me, she's like, she's got UTI and this and that and stuff, and I'm like, okay, now if her boyfriend is sitting there, I'm like, hey, listen up, you got to hear this too, because if something's going on with her, there's something going on with you too. It's just that she's starting to show the symptoms, you're not. Because when we are intimate, like, and the things, that's why if a woman ends up with STDs and stuff like that, or infections or so on, usually the women are the only ones that show the symptoms and the men don't. That's why when, like, obviously going for tests and stuff would actually be able to narrow those like things down, because it's not just one, it's always one helps the other to make, a little bit of mess. We wanted to talk about just like how women like suffer with fibroids and with endometriosis, and how we can help with pain relief, and also the sexy time that we need, and pain for sex.
Yeah, okay. I did a whole presentation here, and it does touch on exactly your question, or one of the ladies' question, on how to deal with that. Because what I want to focus on is the relief. And because, as I said, our sex, I call this like a womb, our vulva, a vagina, I call that a sacred space, but I will get into it. It's connected to our whole body. So it could be things that happened in your past that you carry in your sacred space and your womb. So basically, just start, scientists have established that the emotion you feel affects your sexual function. So basically, women who associate sex with sort of like disgust or something to be ashamed of usually get pain when they're having sex. As much as you might not recognize that you could be causing this, it is something that people can actually think about. What were your teachings about sex? Were you conditioned to hate sex or to find it as something disgusting? As I said, probably you're supposed to please your man. You're not supposed to think about that as a child. For example, when you're a girl, you're not supposed to touch yourself. You're a dirty girl if you do that. Good girls don't touch themselves. So it's, yeah, So it's those conditionings. So almost all women, actually women that I've met personally, have issues around their bodies, their sexuality, sexual function, menopause, menstruation. And anything, pregnancy, anything associated with that sacred area, womb, sexual organs, vulva, vagina. So it's something that they don't talk about, that you shouldn't even be wondering about. So that's why a lot of people suffer in pain when they have PCOS or any yeast infections, because it will be associated that you must be promiscuous if you've suffered from those things. So we don't talk about it as well. That area is associated with a lot of shame and secrecy. What has been uncovered is that women have experienced sexual trauma as children or as adults shy away from that part because they don't want to give it life per se. If you think about it or acknowledge it, it's like you're giving life to it. So we don't want to acknowledge its existence. So as women, we will experience some sort of traumas in regards to our sexuality. It doesn't even have to be about sexuality or physicality. Any trauma that you experience could have a bad effect on your sacred area. So this part, the sacred space, is a part that needs most love in our body. We need to connect with it. We need to care for it. We need to bring blood flow to it and connect our entire bodies to our sacred space. So being disconnected can bring about a lot of negativity, like painful sex, yeast infections, burning sensations in the vagina, and of course, painful period pains. Women who are willing, you get women who are willing to go deeper and do the work themselves by allowing themselves to feel, to reconnect to that sacred areas by using things like jade eggs, steaming, or even yoni massages, whether they massage themselves or they must get a partner to massage the yoni. I like that, yes. Or get a partner to actually massage their yonis. People can be skeptical, we know this, Loreal, that when it's not given a thumbs up by Western medicine, then it can't work, even though we know sometimes Western medicine doesn't work itself, but we're not gonna really dive into that. So to heal their bodies, women need to connect physically, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. So if you're suffering from what you just mentioned, like polycystic ovarian syndrome, bacterial infections, yeast infections, chronic STIs or STDs, cramping, things that just don't go away, that probably things that you constantly have month after month, then you need to think about working with emotional healing, bringing blood flow to that area. And shaking, I would get to that. You know, when you shake, sometimes, even with the yoni massage, we encourage shaking, dancing, using jade eggs. And sometimes those chronic issues that you get can go away. Yes, yoni is the vagina, Mandy, yes. Another word for vagina, for some people call it the pussy, but I like to use the word yoni. It's a personal preference. Another person can use pussy, as I said, or vagina. So those chronic conditions can actually decrease or even go away if you are open to that type of healing process. Now, how do you do that to heal and go through the process? There are coaches like myself or practitioners who actually do this type of work. For example, I do offer classes on tapping into the sacred spaces to teach you certain techniques on the correct breathing work, because breathing is very, very important when you are becoming into yourself and recognizing who you are. So being tuned mentally, sounds that you use, and pussy massages again by yourself or with a partner. You will learn to really focus on your vagina, the sacred space, the womb, the pelvic floor, the ovaries, and bring that sacred area and develop connection with your body. So that is how you can actually take away those pains, but I will get into detail. Now, a yoni massage. Has anyone here ever had a yoni massage? I'm the type of person who likes everyone to connect and we just talk and have a chat when I'm presenting. Okay. Shahista says no. Anyone here who has been brave enough to have had a yoni massage?
Well, I mean, if he's gonna play, he's better massage.
Never heard
I
of
mean,
it. Okay. That's why I have Kyla. Hi, how was it? I like that someone has had and experienced it. Well, firstly, a yoni, as I said, is another word for vagina, for pussy, for your vulva. It's a Sanskrit for vulva and womb, which translates to sacred or bliss, amazing. Transfers to a sacred space. So your yoni is basically the doorway of life. That whole area, it is life itself. That's why when we store everything, we store it in that sacred space. So it is the doorway of life, and it should be kept or treated as something special and treated as utmost security. So you need to protect it with everything that you have. So as women, we all know how important self-love is. Self-love, whether it includes body, mind, and soul. This is why Mandy does what she does, Kate does what she does, because we know self-love is very important. So loving your vagina or your yoni is also a type of self-love. So yoni massages are a great way of practicing self-love when you're doing it by yourself or to yourself. Your yoni massage is not just to reach orgasm. It's not doing to say there's a difference between a yoni massage and masturbating. Masturbating, you do it because you want to reach orgasm. A yoni massage is a form of healing and connecting again your whole body to your sacred space. So yoni massages are not just to reach orgasm, as I said, but also a way to care for yourself by letting go of pain, trauma that's stored in your pelvic area. This form of massage can literally change a woman's life. And it takes a while. It can take about 3 hours for a person to do a yoni massage. So one of the first things that you need to get right when you're doing your yoni massage is your breath work, because it is the foundation of letting go. The breathing, the in and out that helps you relax your whole body from, again, your thanks, Matty. From your hair follicles to your toenails, you need to be relaxed. A yoni massage helps women to find different exciting ways of seeing their bodies, sensuality, and sexuality. This type of intimate massage takes a long time. As I said, it can take up to 3 hours. So there's no rushing to say, okay, I need to get an orgasm. I need to do this. So you need to be present for absolutely 3 hours. You know, we don't take enough time for ourselves. People might think 3 hours is a long time to be sitting there and playing with your yoni or massaging your yoni. It is, but you do need that. Remember, 24 hours. I mean, Loreal, I read something where you said you work as a businesswoman, you work 24/7. So you need to take away that 3 hours just for yourself to rejuvenate, to get back and your mind to relax. So when your partner learns, if you choose to do it with a partner, learns out of a yoni massage, they will help you to relax the muscles around your vagina. And when those muscles are relaxed, this helps now with the arousal. We're going to go into what you were asking about, Loreal. There are many amazing healing benefits to receiving really good yoni massages on a woman's bodies. So I'm going to get into the types of benefits for a yoni massage. Now, it relieves painful menstruation, painful period pains. A yoni massage increases blood flow to that sacred space, to the womb area. So it increased blood flow, balances hormones, and releases the tension in your pelvic floor muscles, which is around the hips. Again, Loreal, you experienced something amazing when you went to visit your what do you call him, your friend?
He's my biokineticist. Yeah.
Yes, because everything, the hips go hand in hand with everything. So the more relaxed you are, the less painful your periods are. Now, what I usually do when I suffer from period pains, I usually get them before my period start. So you can start your yoni massage days before your period start. You can do your yoni massage during your period. Now, if you're doing with a partner, as you lay obviously a towel on top of your bed because you don't want to mess your bedding and everything. So, and depending how comfortable the both of you are. But I always say when you have sex with someone, you need to be 150% comfortable with them. And they need to love you with periods and all. So you can choose to wear your tampon if you use tampons and put on a panty while you guys are doing your knee massages. But it's, and if blood comes out, it's okay. It's part of you, it's part of the men. Yes.
Yeah, so actually I just wanted to touch on this, that there's actually, you spoke about like you can still, so the nice thing about a menstrual cup, right?
Okay.
Like, yeah, and then there's also another one which is actually a lot smaller and flatter. I haven't seen them here in South Africa, but I know that people in America and Canada can probably get them, is the flat ones, so that it actually, with the flatter ones, are able that you can still penetrate without it getting messy. And then obviously the cups, which comes in two different sizes for heavy bleeders and for, would still be able to use these instead of a tampon because of toxic shock syndrome that comes from tampons. So this would be a great alternative. It's reusable. It carries a lot more, and it takes this shape. It actually takes the shape of the cervix, as of the entrance, as opposed to where a tampon actually has to go in and still swell up to where it needs to go to. So that just kind of like makes sense. I just wanted to add that in there if anybody does like the dry humping and stuff, that that they would actually just can use a menstrual cup or a sexual menstrual cup or something like that.
I've actually, it's nice to know, I've never learned or read up on menstrual cups before. For example, I don't use tampons anymore because they used to hurt whenever I inserted them. And I decided it didn't feel good whenever it was inside me. So I decided to stop. So now I use pads. So
I'll hook you up with a cup.
You do that. Okay, the second benefit is it releases trauma. Now, ladies, this is a big one. That's for you, Loreal.
Okay, the cup is not painful at all. Actually, because there is no sharpness to it, it actually takes the shape of your cervix, so it's actually very flexible, so it can like literally pull, and it creates a suction because there's 4 holes here that actually create the suction around the cervix. So for I've been using mine for 3 years and I haven't gone back to a tampon, and when I have, it was, and I got the GMO free or the pesticide free proper cotton tampons, which have no chemicals in there, and I use that with cannabis oil for my period pains. Otherwise, I only use a menstrual cup. And you can go longer, because I don't even believe that tampons should be worn more than 4 hours, because some people say 4 to 8 hours, and that advertising is so wrong. It's so wrong, because infection starts within I mean, especially if you're heavy bleeder, the warmth of it, and then you've got from the middle, because there's no, like, a cup will keep it the same temperature as it's supposed to be and more consistent until you empty it from the body, whereas it starts going off from the middle to the outside of a tampon because of the warmth going inside and heating it up, and it's not the same. So I have never, like, I've seen more damage come from tampons because of toxic shock syndrome. And actually that's deadly. That's actually very lethal for women. There's so many girls who have actually lost have got an infection and had to lose their legs or some of their arms and stuff because the infection got so bad in the body, and that's just from tampons, and they're still selling it. Like, why aren't these available in the shops? Why can't I go to Spa or Checkers or and go and pick up one of these? Because it's not widely available. You have to go to a health shop to go and get it. It's because I'm going to be a reoccurring client to them. That's why society is the way that it, because we're just breeding consumers instead of, like, I haven't bought tampons in 3 years. Imagine how much I've saved since then. And the prices have changed. Like, now women, we don't get the tax on women's products, whereas I was like 4 years ago, I could barely even afford to get like a regular basis of tap because it was too expensive. And now it's like, oh, it's only $15. And I was like, where was this when us women were struggling back in the day? Now we, like, I'm happy. I got cups, and I help women who really, like, I have a friend who'll come up to me and it's like, I really don't have money to go and buy tampons and stuff. And I'm like, why suffer? Here's something for you to use for the next 10 years. 10.
Wow.
Imagine how much landfill waste is now limited in the field. So yeah, I thought I'd just add that in there.
With all the kids who don't actually go to school because when they have their periods and they can't afford pads, that would be a wonderful alternative for them.
Well, look, I already agree that people, like, women shouldn't go to work or school for the first 3 days of their period, because no, I like that. If it was me and it was up to me, I'll be like, every woman can stay at home for the first 3 days, business, whatever. Like, why should we be forced to? Because we've become in the masculine world that now we've had to we should actually be setting those kinds of standards. Like, we are, like, we need those 3 days like off during like the first 3 days, just so that we can gather, like, our hormones are going wild, like we heavy bleeding and we got cramps and we got, like, I mean, I've had very good bosses. Like, one of my ex-bosses was like, and he was male, and he's like, why are you at work? So I said, society, like, it's frowned upon to go home when you're on your period. It's just like, please just go home. I'd rather have you
with women.
Yeah, he's like, just go home.
Yeah, even, but you know what you're saying, sometimes even if women who don't experience painful periods, it's very hard for them to understand when you're saying, but I have the type of period pain. So when we also shame each other as women, then how are we expecting men to understand and actually get to a point where we're saying, okay, we demand the 3 days, or we have the right to stay at home for 3 days because we're going through that. It's not taken as anything serious. Yeah,
like, I spoke on last night, like, in the community where the woman stays home for 3 days. I'm like, where's that in our society? Like, I want to go back to the village now. Let's go. Our sisters will look after each other. I'm ready. Like, and the thing is, like, and look at our cycles. Like, now my cycle, which is always on full moon, now it's on new moon. Like, our periods to the cycle as well, it changes. Like, and like Kay mentioned last night, it's those seasons of the periods and stuff that we go through of our hormones. And that was like, I really resonated with that, because mine does change. Like, for 3 years in a row, I'll know, like, every New Year's I'm on, ta-da, happy me, I'm starting New Year's with a grand new period. Like, great. So yeah, it's very nice to have these tools available to us to be able to also micromanage because who else is going to know our bodies better than us and what we feel, and we can only be compassionate to the next woman for what she's going through.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I said you can do the yoni massage to help with the period pains. Just going deep, being in one, relieving yourself of the pain for period pains. Again, letting the blood flow into your womb. Now, the second benefit is trauma release. This is a big one because we experience trauma on a daily basis. Whether you have a disagreement with someone, your friend, your mother, your lover, that is also to find a partner who you trust enough to complicate go. Okay, yes, you need a partner that you can trust, but that doesn't matter even if you're single. You can still do it yourself, girl. So that's okay. So we experience trauma every day. As I said, whether someone says a bad word to you that actually cuts deep, that is some sort of form of trauma, whether you were in an accident as a child or even now. You know, we keep trauma. We haven't learned to let go of trauma. We carry trauma around for years and years and years. So a yoni massage helps you get rid of that trauma, to release it from your womb, because our womb carries a lot of that trauma. So when you do that yoni massage, that's part of the things that you actually do release, is all that trauma that you have built up, especially if you've experienced sexual trauma, whether you're a child or as an adult. Number 3 benefit is it balances your hormones. So it helps to naturally detox. Our bodies are amazing. It removes toxins and stagnant energies in your vaginal canal. So everything, again, your hormones, you get those feel-good hormones again that come up because it's pleasurable, even though you don't actually do it to have an orgasm. Number 4, it relieves painful sex, which is, when I'm saying sex, I'm talking about penetrative sex, because oral sex is sex. So I'm talking about penetrative sex, which is the penis in penetrating the vagina or the vulva. So painful sex is usually caused a lot of the times by not enough self-lubrication. So those tense muscles around your genitals and body arming. So what body arming happens is that there's this thing called vaginismus, whereby you try to have sex and your vagina locks. So you can't get anyone penetrating you, or a finger, or even a toy. So because you probably have experienced trauma in your childhood or even as an adult, you automatically, as I said, body armor, your body and your womb, your sacred space creates an armor to protect yourself, because you're associating sex with pain and trauma. So things like this, yoni massages help. Whether you do, I suggest that if someone has that type of trauma, to start with a self massaging before you get to a partner, because again, with the trust of a partner, you might associate that person to an ex who treated you badly, or to any other man who has caused trauma. So
Yeah. I just want to mention as well, like, and this is the thing, like when we've gone through that kind of trauma, it's like a cleanse is necessary, like cleaning out like of the either with like you know, you use meditation, or you do cleansing, or you know, you do prayer, depending on where you're at as well. It's just, you need like to get back your own power as well, because I think a lot of that also has to do with, because if you're looking at anything to do with like fibroids, cysts, and stuff like that, it's all not self-abuse, it's all abuse. It's all types of different abuses, whether it was physical, emotional abuse. It's all that trapped energy, because it's in our root chakra. That's the way it would definitely be affected the most. And you know, that's inner confusion, it's shame, it's guilt, you know, it's all of those
It's
feelings
your
that
fault.
all of those feelings that we haven't processed through that pain that we went through, whether it was emotional or physical or mental. And that's the other thing, mental, it will be resistance for new love to take place. So you have to clean out that old to invite that new love to take over, and compassion for the self and self-love, and that, like, that's where it begins for you, like, to heal through, because I mean, like, fibroids are like little you know, the growths on the uterus, that's masses of emotions busy growing. So in order to release that, you need to release the emotional trauma from the body in order to release the fibroids from the body.
Yeah, there are different ways, as this yoni massage is another way of releasing and a cleansing ritual, whether it's a ritual that you do by yourself to get yourself back there and connect, whether you do it with a partner, because sometimes with a partner, you guys have that disconnect, and you sometimes just want, because it's a massage of the whole body, and then goes and focuses on your sacred area, but it does connect the whole body. Now, as a practitioner, as a sex coach, some sex coaches do it, but for me personally, I don't. You can give a person a yoni massage or a client, and if they allow you, you can insert your fingers. And sometimes it's trauma, you find these little bumps, just little, like a pimple inside your vagina. So a practitioner or a coach can insert their fingers and start squeezing those bumps inside your vagina. That also releases the trauma. It's a painful thing to have someone squeeze those little bumps or pimples inside your vagina. But those are caused also by trauma, that built up trauma that we carry around for years and years and years. So that also can be done. That also can be done to release the trauma inside your vagina. So when the art of the yoni massage has been mastered, it can really help a woman to open up, relax, and soften. Now, again, with the vaginismus I spoke about, by clenching and armoring your vagina. So when you do that yoni massage, you tend to open up and release it. And it won't happen overnight. You have to constantly try and not be hard on yourself to think that you do it once and things will be okay. So it takes time. And then the fifth one is, it also helps with arousal also, with that relieves painful sex. So it helps with arousal. If, of course, you can't get aroused, you just have sex because of your man, if you are in a heterosexual relationship, now that can help you to get aroused as well and lubricate. But again, with sex and sexual health, there's a very blurred line sometimes, because sometimes your body, there's arousal non-concordance that we talk about in the sexual health, whereby your body does not react how your mind wants you to react. For example, I'll give you a simple example of watching porn, not porn, watching a movie scene where a woman gets raped. And you react by getting wet or self-lubricating. Now, you might think, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? Am I attracted, or do I want to be sexually assaulted? But the body now of that arousal non-concordance, it's push and pull, because you even get, it's things that even the law needs to recognize now, because you might get a child who's sexually abused and they self-lubricate, because the vagina is made to self-lubricate. But just because a person is being assaulted, that doesn't mean they want it. Because a lot of times people say, but she got wet, or she was aroused and she got lubricated, it means she wanted it. Or even women who will rape, yes, women do rape men, and men will respond by getting a hard on, and then they'll say, but he wanted to have sex with me. Meanwhile, the body was reacting and the mind didn't really want to do that. And a lot of times partners have those issues whereby, but you are wet, it means you are ready. Or when I say I'm ready but not lubricated, a guy will tell me, no, but you're not ready yet. So basically they think they know your body more than you do. So it's things that, again, as I'm saying, it's a thin line that you need to understand the whole sexuality and sexual health that people need to read about and educate themselves about. The fifth one is more intense orgasms. Usually most of the time we have sex just because we're going to get an orgasm. But with yoni massages, because it's such a sensual massage and it can take hours, it awakens every single part of your body. The more awake your body is, the more it will feel. But, and this is a big but, because as women, we carry so much trauma throughout the years of things happening, it could take time for a woman to experience pleasure. First time she practices yoni massage, she might not feel pleasure. The first layer of release could be stored unwanted pain, anger, sadness. Now, again, I'm going to use Loreal as an example with with a visit to a friend where she got the needles, the acupuncture, I think it was, on her hips, and she just let out. That could have been releasing a lot of pent up energy and anger and issues that she had.
Yeah,
So
it
even
was.
with a yoni massage, it could take about 5 or more sessions for you to actually feel pleasure.
Mm,
So you could find that you break down and cry because you're
mm,
releasing all that trauma and energy. So if it happens, don't be scared. Just know that at least it's working and that you are becoming one with your body and you're going to
yeah.
experience pleasure. You will experience pleasure, even if it takes about 6 or 7 massages. But at the end of the day, you will, once you start reconnecting your mind, your body, your spirit,
Mm.
you will get that pleasure. It will be felt.
I gotta
Um,
add there something like while you're on this thing, like I must admit, like I've actually released tears during an orgasm once, and it was like I like knew it was like happy, but like I don't, it's never happened before. Like I was just because I felt safe, and it
yeah,
was such a beautiful moment that I was like, you know,
yeah,
you, because once you've gone through trauma and you obviously replace it, like once you've worked through that trauma and invite new experiences into your life, you still also through those experiences you're still releasing because it's years
yeah.
of emotional trauma, and we are emotional beings. So I think that was very unique to me as well when I'd experienced it. I'm like, wow, like, you know, that was it's a
Mm,
sense of release, it's a sense of love, and it was also a sense of like that unconditional love. Like that for me was very beautiful because you don't always get
exactly.
that sense of unconditional love, and I think for the first time I'd like really experienced that in a sexual way, but not so like in an ego, or like our energies just like really entwined very nicely, and that release was just so beautiful. So it was nice to have that experience, and that you brought it up, like you can get emotional during those pleasures and stuff. And I think
Mm-hmm.
like when you've gotten to that, like you've released and you allow now more pleasure into your
Pleasure
life,
to
like
come
what you were
through.
talking
Mhm.
about. Also I just wrote it down was yeast infections, you know, when you're talking about that sexual conflict, because you haven't sorted out you know, the conflict between you and your sexual partner that you have, or even with your sexual self. So that's why like the UTIs and stuff, all those those yeast
Mhm.
infections wouldn't rise, is because there's emotional conflict in the sexual
Yeah.
department. And I think that's where a lot of couples don't actually talk about
No.
they like, especially when they want to get intimate and they want to explore each other, but there's no, like they don't know what to do with each other. And I think exploration, like that's where the yoni massage comes in, because
Yeah.
exploring your partner's body, and not just in such a, you know, you get to know their curves and the bumps on their bodies, and then you'll come across the scar on their bum that you've never noticed before, or you
Mhm.
know, like things like that. And I think that makes it very 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 intimate, more than just sexual, but intimacy, because intimacy is much deeper than sex, like in
It's
a
my the
sexual, yeah.
connection. Yes, it does promote a lot of intimacy because you are a selfless lover when you
Mm,
give your partner a yoni massage, because again, it's not about your pleasure, it's about your partner's pleasure, and getting rid of all the trauma, again, the issues, the stress, the daily stress, whether you haven't been sexually assaulted or had a sexual trauma. Again, there's so many other traumas that we get as
yeah,
women. Another thing, as I said, we have sex because we want to have that quick release of an orgasm. So with the yoni massage, it promotes multiple orgasms. People even get an hour-long orgasm in that moment, that bliss of getting an orgasm. That's why it's something every woman, I wish they would experience and explore, because it'll show you that's just quick sex or just um, tickling the clitoris and getting that orgasm. This you experience every part of your body. So again, getting to what you were saying, it's for better sexual relationships, because if you're in a relationship, this could definitely improve the connection you have with your partner, because when a woman has experienced that pleasure now from yoni massages, she develops a new awareness of her body, of who she is. So she has a greater connection of her body and her mind. So those emotions that were bottled up, that are released, she doesn't bring them into the relationship or into her life. They're actually gone and released and out with. Um, The next one, it resensitizes the area. We don't realize on a daily basis, the stresses that we pick up, they stiffen and harden our bodies. So we basically like going around being robots. We're not loose and fluid like we're supposed to be. So yoni massages, they help with blending the physical pleasure with emotional and that energetical pleasure. So you can reach heightened orgasmic levels. As I said, it takes about an hour and you experiencing that bliss of orgasmic explosions in your body.
Sensations.
So yeah. So another one is more joy and confidence, because once you experience that, when you're not in harmony with your body, you are not complete. You feel very incomplete. Sometimes people don't understand why they're not feeling okay, like they're stressed out, because again, they're not in tune with their body. So basically, I would definitely recommend everyone to try yoni massages. Again, you can call me, find out. I can take you through step by step with the breathing. You can read up on it. It's definitely something. Now, can I get anyone to tell me, would they try yoni massages now? What do they think? Is there something that they could open their minds to trying now? Because I know only one person said they have tried it.
Ah, there we go. I like that. Yes, Shyster, I'm getting sexual.
So it gives you oh, lovely. It's a beautiful thing, and you only know beauty once you've experienced it. So one thing I want to leave you ladies with, that I want you guys to try today, every one of you. If you can send Loreal a message tomorrow and say, okay, I tried it and how was it? I would really appreciate it. So things that I'd like you to try tonight, whether you've got a partner or not, but I want you to do it by yourself. If your partner wants to be there, play the drums. If you are into music therapy or guitar or a piano, or whether you play music just to be in the zone, light candles, get essential oils so you can just get those hormones flowing, please do it. Firstly, self-love. That's one thing I'd like you to do. Now, look at your yoni. Ladies, I did a questionnaire, I think in 2019, asking women if they look at their vaginas. And a lot of women, which is so sad, say they don't look at their vaginas. So tonight, whether you have looked at it or you haven't, please look at it. Take a hand mirror, or if you've got a full length mirror, sit naked, strip down, ladies, and be in one with your body. Sit in front of that full length mirror, or even if you don't have a mirror, which is low enough, take your phone, a phone which has got a front facing camera, and just point that camera. No, don't take videos. No. Just look at it with that camera. And open your legs, spread them wide, ladies. You do spread them when you're having sex, so you can spread them for yourself. Just look at it. And now I hope you're taking notes, because I want you guys to do this. And please tell Loreal tomorrow and she'll report back to me. Now, look at it. And I want you to say 3 gratitudes to your yoni. So basically describing how beautiful it is. Talk to it. Say, I think you're beautiful because of this and this and this, and I'm grateful for you because of this and this and this. So 3 things. So this basically, it takes you away from seeing it as something that's ugly, that's shameful, that represents hurt and pain. So that's one thing you need to do today. Number one. Number 2, be intentional when you're doing it. So create intention when you are sitting there, opening up yourself and watching your vagina. The intention is to connect you with your inner sex goddess. Intention to release the chronic pain. Intention to release all the trauma. Now, remember, we haven't started the yoni massage. This is just self-love and just being with yourself. So look at it, tell it that I'm releasing the chronic pain. If you know meditation, then it will be some sort of meditation with you and your yoni. Now, number 3 is acceptance. Place your hand on your womb space. So again, light candles, if you're using essential oils, and the music that calms you down, and just place your hands on your womb area. Place them, close your eyes, and just experience total acceptance. During this ritual, you need to not judge yourself. You don't push yourself, and you don't criticize yourself. Remember, you are beautiful. My womb is beautiful. My sacred space is beautiful. My yoni is beautiful. It is okay to get turned on. Ladies, if you are sitting there really being open to it, some people do get turned on, and it's okay to get turned on. And if you feel nothing, again, it's okay. You don't have to pressurize. Remember, we say accept whatever you feel. And if you get that judgment, judgment creeps in and shows you his ugly face and say, I'm judging you, what are you doing? It's okay again. Try the following day. This is again trying to accept that you are beautiful, that you have a sacred yoni and sacred space. Now, with there, I need you, please repeat the steps. Internet lagged. Okay, I'll repeat them. I'll say the last one.
The video will be, we've only got 7 minutes left. The video will be posted on our group. So if anybody does need to go back and watch, they can. It will be available on the groups.
I'll do the last 2 quickly. Full body massage. Now, ladies, I like you to reignite your sensuality. As we grow, we lose our sensuality because we touch so many things and different surfaces, different textures. We actually lose how to feel what you're touching. So this is a time whereby you actually connect to your body to feel how your skin feels against your fingertips, what sensations you feel when you're touching your fingertips. So this is exploring. So you feel those feel-good zones, those erogenous zones, because you might find that you have never known that you touch the side or the back, your knee, and then you can have get aroused. So you're exploring your body. So use essential oils. Use pussy-friendly essential oils. I think Mandy is good with that.
Mandy and Loreal are going to be talking about this tomorrow night.
Yes.
Yes, we've got the essential oils for what you can do for men to bring arousal on, what to put in the bedroom while you're busy having sex.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and massaging as well.
Yeah. So massage, ladies, your breasts. Remember, this is you alone. Massage your breast. Feel your breast. Massage your belly. I know so many women don't like how their bellies look. They've had kids. They don't like stretch marks. So massage your breast. Being one with your belly, your inner thighs. Touch yourself in a way that you've always wanted to be touched. And just get those endorphins, those serotonins, those dopamines out, those feel-good hormones, and celebrate yourself as an amazing, beautiful woman. Now, this is very important, is deep breathing. Take deep breaths when you are doing this ritual tonight. Every time you inhale and exhale, you will get more relaxed. Now, with my clients, I like to tell them to make sounds. So you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through your mouth and make a sound like, so that vibration in your neck also helps you be in tune. Yes, Loreal, be in tune with your body. So that vibration. Breathe in with your nose and out with your mouth and do a sound. I spoke about rocking. You can also do that. Even go on your knees and start rocking your body. Close your eyes, breathe in, exhale, make sound, just be in connection with your body. As I said, if you practice music therapy, you can have drums. Your boyfriend or your husband can play drums. He doesn't have to touch you. He can just help you out. Play meditation music. So this is meditating your pleasure, ladies. The pleasure is key, and then all the trauma will be released. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mpho, for that. Wow. Oh my gosh. We've really, really dived into our sexual energy tonight. And I think that was very much needed in our lives tonight and and now for the future as well. And it's I'm very engaging when it comes to these kinds of things. I think it's very important to explore your body as well and be safe for
Yeah.
your body to be explored. Um,
Yeah.
and also providing that safeness for yourself, and that just to get in touch with your body's feelings. Like I wrote there, like a body scan, you're doing that body scan where you're just like going through your body and seeing, getting in tune with your body. And the nice thing is, like when you said the is, I've been wanting to say we're going to do essential oils tomorrow night and include all of this, like how to do a steam, how to arouse your man with smells and make the room smell like essential.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
so I'm
Because
very,
as much as I spoke about yoni massages, there's also penis massage, because men also go through
yes.
a lot of issues like erectile dysfunctions, premature ejaculation, performance anxieties. So that helps him as well. And those essential oils can help a lot. So yeah, if
I think
probably
I think we
anyone
need I think we need to do like our own 3-day workshop, because just talking. Let's get sexy, woman. Let's get sexy.
I
Like,
know.
and I think also is dressing sexy. Like, as much as we want, like we got to invite it. Like you said, if you want to feel those sensations, you got to give it to yourself, and no one else is going to give it better to you than yourself. So getting aroused, like feeling yourself, like touching those parts of your bodies, like even when you're in the shower, like tickle yourself, like when you're in bed, just like tickle your arm, feel those sensations. Like that's, for me, is like self-soothing. When I just sit there and I'm like, I got the nails to do it, so I'm like, oh, this feels so
Yeah,
good, because no one's gonna tickle me better than me in any case. So I'm like,
exactly.
I'll do it myself, it's fine. So, but thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad that you came on board, and I'm so glad that we have actually met and to bring this. Thank you, ladies, for joining us from wherever you are joining us from. Please do follow us on our pages, check your emails.
Thank you.
The group will be on Essential Wellness Global. Please go and check your emails for the links. I've done the South African group and I've done the global group. The global group is just to let people know what times I'm going to be doing it in their countries. Like I target America and Canada, and they're usually around 1 p.m. because it's 7 p.m. here in South Africa. So for us to do 7 p.m. talks for America and so on, yes, it will be on Facebook. It just join the group. If there are any questions that come up, I will see that it was you and you were here, so I will just excuse all the questions. It's just for security purposes, because people just try and come on into the group and do all that advertising that we don't want. So the global group is just to let everybody know what times we're going to be. We're going to be moving into 7 p.m. sessions, because I know in America and Canada right now it's lunchtime. So we do thank you, ladies, for coming out and spending the hour with us during your busy days. But we will be looking forward to the future for the 7 p.m. your time, which will be midnight here. But I'm willing to do it because my days are changing in any case. So we'll work on that. But thank you all for joining. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night. Don't miss out tomorrow night with Mandy. She's going to be joining us from Cape Town. George, and how we going to be using essential oils in our life. Well, how we've been using it and how we're going to introduce it. I'm definitely going to bring in the piece about for the massage and for the bedroom, and how I've been using it to micromanage my hormones as well. I've actually got progestins right here as well. I know in America you guys can get it a lot easier than we do here. And this is instead of going for the hormone replacement therapy, is this. So anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm gonna talk about it forever. Lots of love. Thank you everybody for joining, and then we would like to hear back from you from tonight's session. Do let us know. Good night. Bye.
Good night.